everyone, this is Rachi Pagar, a Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English student of Cebu Technological University. And today we are up for another educational video, or should I say a video tutorial about the fundamentals of technical writing, specifically subject-verb agreement. So together, let us learn in how to construct sentences with the correct usage of subject-verb agreement.
Hello guys, in this video, we will talk about the fundamentals of technical writing, and one of it is the subject-verb agreement. So now, let's discuss and learn the subject-verb agreement. But before anything else, let us define first the word subject and the word verb. So what is a subject? A subject is a part of a sentence or clause in English grammar that usually shows what the sentence is about and who or what performs the action. Now, let's define the word verb. A verb is a phrase or group of words that describes an action, a state of being, or a situation. The part of a sentence that tells us what the subject does is called a verb. Now, in subject-verb agreement, the subject and the verb must agree with one another in number, either in singular or plural. Thus, a singular subject takes a singular verb, and on the other hand, a plural subject takes a plural verb. Take note that a singular subject cannot take a plural verb and vice versa. In present tense, nouns and verbs form plurals in different ways. If it's a noun, we must add an s to the singular form. Meanwhile, if it's a verb, we must remove the s from the singular form. Now, take a look on this example. The frog eats the firefly. So in this sentence, frog is the noun while eats is the verb. As you can see, both the noun and the verb are in singular form. Now, in order to turn both the noun and the verb into its plural form, as I have said a while ago, if it's a noun, add an s. If it's a verb, remove the s. Therefore, we must add an s to the noun, which will make the word frog into frogs. Meanwhile, we must remove the s to the verb, which will make the word eats into it. So from the sentence with a singular verb and noun, which is the frog eats the firefly, we turn the sentence into its plural form, which is the frogs eat the firefly. Now, there are 12 rules in subject-verb agreement. First, if the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Second, if the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. Third, when the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and, use a plural verb. Fourth, when there is one subject and more than one verb, the verbs throughout the sentence must agree with the subject. Fifth, when a phrase comes between the subject and the verb, remember that the verb still agrees with the subject, not the noun or pronoun in the phrase following the subject of the sentence. Sixth, when two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, use a singular verb. Seventh, when a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is closest to the verb. This is called the rule of proximity. 8. Indefinite pronouns as subjects. 9th, non-count nouns take a singular verb. 10th, countable nouns take a plural verb. 11th, in sentence beginning with there is or there are, the subject follows the verb. Since there is not the subject, the verb agrees with what follows the verb. And last, collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but are considered singular and take singular verb. Now let's take a look on each rules one by one. Rule number 1. If the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. For example, she sleeps every day. In this example, the subject, which is she, is singular, so we must use a verb that is also singular, which is sleeps. Rule number 2. If the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. For example, they sleep every day. In this sentence, the subject, which is a day, is plural, so we must use a verb that is also plural, which is sleep. Rule number 3. When the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and, use a plural verb. Now, for the example, the teacher and the students write a reflection. So in this sentence, we use the conjunction, which is and, to connect the teacher and the students. Since we use the conjunction and, we must take a plural verb, and that is to write. Therefore, nouns that are connected by the conjunction and in the subject will work as the plural subject and take a plural verb. Rule number 4. When there is one subject and more than one verb, the verbs throughout the sentence must agree with the subject. For example, interviews are one way to collect data and allow researchers to know more the participants. In this sentence, interview is the subject while are and allow are the verb. As you can see on the example at the screen, all the verbs mentioned in the sentence agrees on the subject. Now for the rule number 5. When a phrase comes between the subject and the verb, remember that the verb still agrees with the subject, not the noun or pronoun in the phrase following the subject of the sentence. For example, the students together with the parents are very excited. In this example, the students is the subject, while on the other hand, are is the verb. Moreover, together with the parents is the phrase that comes between the subject, which is the students, and the verb, which is are. Now we're down to the rule number 6. When two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, use a singular verb. Now for the example, the SSG officers or the students approves the proposal about the school's development. So since there are two singular nouns that are connected by or, we have to use a verb that is also singular, and that is approves. For the rule number 7, when a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is closest to the verb. This is called the rule of proximity. For example, the student or the committee members write every day. So the student and the committee are the compound subject that was joined by or. In this example, the verb write agrees with the nearer subject, which is the committee members. Rule number 8. Indefinite pronouns as subjects. So indefinite pronouns was classified into two, the singular and the plural. So for the singular indefinite pronoun subjects, it must take a singular verbs. Some of the singular indefinite pronoun are the following: each, either, neither,
one, no one, nobody, nothing, anybody, anyone, anything, someone, somebody, something, everyone, everybody, and everything. Now, for the example, each does a good deal of work around the office. So in this sentence, each is the pronoun that acts as the subject, while does is the verb. Since the subject is singular, it should be paired with a verb that is also singular. Now, for the plural indefinite pronoun subjects, it must also take a plural verbs. So some of the plural indefinite pronoun are the following: several, few, both, and many. Now, for the example, both do a good deal of work around the office. So both is the pronoun that acts as the subject, while do is the verb. Since the subject, which is both, is plural, the verb should also be plural, and that is the verb do. Rule number 9. Non-count nouns take a singular verb. For example, education is the key to success. In this sentence, education is a non-countable noun, so it must be paired with a singular verb, and that is the verb is. Rule number 10. Countable nouns take a plural verb. Some of the countable nouns in English are the following: earnings, goods, odds, surroundings, proceeds, contents, and valuables. For the example, the earnings for this quarter exceed expectations. So earnings is a countable noun, so it must be paired with a plural verb, which is exceed. For rule number 11, in sentence beginning with there is or there are, the subject follows the verb. Since there is not the subject, the verb agrees with what follows the verb. For example, there are many factors affecting my grades. So in this sentence, are is the verb followed by the subject factors. In this example, the verb are agrees with the subject factors. Now for the last rule, collective nouns are words that imply more than one person but are considered singular and take a singular verb. Some examples of collective nouns are group, team, committee, family, and class. For example, the committee agrees in the new set of rules. So the committee in this sentence is the collective noun, while agrees is the verb. So both the collective noun and the verb are singular. However, a plural verb could also be used if the focus is on the individuals in the group. So for example, the committee participate in various activities in the school. So in this sentence, the committee here focuses on the individuals in the group and not as a whole, which makes it plural. Since the noun is plural, it must be paired with a verb that is also plural, and that is to participate. And our video tutorial about the subject-verb agreement ends here. I hope you had learned something from me today. Thank you for watching.